Chapter 12 review for the test tomorrow. Here are some key areas to focus on. Starting with 12.1, make sure you guys review the vocab words and also be able to answer the key questions that are listed on page 576. Review figures 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. Make sure that you review the experiments of Griffith, Avery, Hershey, and Chase. Make sure you guys can compare and contrast those experiments and explain what contributions to the transformation principle that those scientists came up with. Section 12.2. Study the only vocabulary word that's in the section. Study the key questions also that are listed on page 585. Make sure you review figure 2.1, 2.3, 2.5, 2.6, and 2.7. Review the contributions of Rosalind Franklin, Watson, and Crick. Also go over Erwin Chargaff's contributions and the fact that he came up with Chargaff's rules, which specifies that adenine is in approximate amounts to thymine and cytosine is in approximate amounts to guanine. Not exact amounts, but approximate amounts. Also review the concept of antiparallel strands. Be able to explain hydrogen bonding's importance with DNA. And make sure you guys review the timeline on pages 593 and 594. For 12.3, make sure you review DNA replication. Go over the vocabulary. 12.3 deals with DNA replication. Review the vocabulary and the key questions on page 595. Also review figure 3.1 and 3.2. Be able to compare and contrast replication in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. And review the role of enzymes. Make sure you're able to discuss which scientists provided X-ray diffraction studies. Again, go over Chargaff's rules so that you can know the base pairing rules: adenine with thymine, guanine with cytosine. Make sure you review the process by which DNA copies itself. When we're looking at, be sure that you can understand and review which scientists did what with transformation. What did Griffith do? What did Hershey and Chase do? What did Oswald Avery do? What did Erwin Chargaff do? So make sure that you can answer a question that asks you which scientist did this, which scientist did that. So make sure you can differentiate between the contributions of each scientist. Make sure you know where DNA is located in eukaryotic organisms versus where DNA is located in prokaryotic organisms. If I give you a strand of base pairs, make sure that you're able to identify their complements. Okay, again, C with G, A with T, A with T, C with G, vice versa. Make sure you know the components of a nucleotide. What three parts make up a nucleotide? Be sure you can differentiate between the contributions of Rosalind Franklin and Watson and Crick in the construction of the DNA molecule. Which organelle stores the genetic information in a cell? Be able to compare what DNA does to a book. This was one of the analogies that was in the reading that you did, making a comparison between DNA and a book. Again, make sure that you understand if you're looking at a graph or a chart and they give you a certain percentage of adenine, make sure that you can approximate the certain percentage of thymine. Or if they give you a percentage of cytosine, make sure that you can approximate the percentage of guanine. Several questions will again ask you to compare the contributions of each experiment. Again, I'll reiterate that you really need to know what Frederick Griffith did, what Oswald Avery did, what Hershey and Chase did, and what Erwin Chargaff did to contribute to the transformation principle and other knowledge of DNA. There are several questions that ask you to choose from answers about those scientists. So there are 19 multiple choice. There are, looking at the matching here, you can expect to have 5 matching and 5 fill in the blank based on vocabulary words. One essay. The essay is going to require that you look at a strand of DNA and you have to identify different parts of DNA from the strand. The matching is going to require that you look at a double helix and you have to identify the parts of a nucleotide. You have to identify the hydrogen bonds. You have to identify guanine, cytosine, thymine, etc. You have to identify the phosphate groups that exist on the DNA molecule. You have to identify what would be the deoxyribose sugar. Study well and good luck.